It's been 6 months since the S24 ULTRA has come out, and over this period of time, I've had it to use on the daily, and I've gone through all kinds of updates. They've updated the cameras, the hardware, the software, but most importantly, they have missed a few issues that continue to pervade my day-to-day activity. In today's video, we're going to talk about the 5 major issues with the S24 ULTRA. Now, I call them major, but that's for you to decide, because some of you guys might not be using things like the camera, but if you are, there's a bit of a problem. Since I already mentioned camera, let's go ahead and get started with the camera issues of the S24 ULTRA. And honestly, there's only one. There's only one major issue with the camera of the S24 ULTRA that has continued to annoy me. And in my previous videos, if you watch them of the S24 ULTRA, I mentioned a bunch of different issues like the slow stutter speeds and things like that. Shutter speeds, not stutter. All of those have been almost completely fixed over the past 6 months of updates, except for this one. I don't know why. So the first issue, this is one that I've back tested quite a bit just because it's so bizarre, okay? And not just with my device, but with other devices and legacy device. We're talking about the S23 ULTRA as well, okay? So I've tested this and it's continued to pervade I used it again. I'm talking about the zooming capabilities, okay? If you have an S24 ULTRA, go ahead and try this right now. Go ahead and do a 10 times zoom on something. Just do a nice little 10x zoom, 50x zoom if you're feeling a little bit more, jovial, I guess. And go ahead and take a screenshot. Don't take a picture, take a screenshot of exactly what you see. Okay, now that you've done that, go ahead and take a picture and compare the two, which one actually looks better. 8 out of 10 times, ladies and gentlemen, this is a scientific method, empiricism on this channel. The screenshot actually looks better than the actual camera reproduction, because the camera is going to process that picture. It goes through this whole, I don't know, AI, tinkle winkle, whatever it is, and it gives you a produced picture, which generally 8 out of 10 times, like I said, looks worse than the screenshot that you take if you're just in that camera app. Now the question is, does the S23 ULTRA also have that issue? Well, I've got to say, no. Not really. I mean, there are times, and this is of course also based on how steady your hands can be, but for the most part, the S24 ULTRA, it's just, I guess, hyperactive in that post-production, where it does end up ruining your photos. So do I have a fix here? Do I have a fix for this specific issue? If you're in auto mode or beginner mode or bitch mode, whatever you want to call it, the point is, those pictures are going to always be blown out. That's a Samsung thing. Now, if you go into pro mode, you go, little manual, you'll tinker your settings a little bit. You're gonna find that there is a little bit less post-production that the camera does. So that is one thing that you can do and enable. It's not a complete fix. I don't, again, know what is going to fix this completely, but that is one way that you can kind of lessen the impact of post-production. But also now you have to kind of work a little bit more on the pictures that you take. It's not as simple as snap and shoot. So that's issue number 1. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. But the next one is a little bit more, but before that, please make sure to smash that subscribe button. It really helps out a growing channel like Chill Fossil. I'm trying all kinds of different arrangements and different video styles. So let me know what you guys think about this one and how this one goes. All of the feedback is super important to me because I go through all of it. And also, if you're interested in cool wallpapers like the Aurorian Dance, available now on Gumroad, I guess, it's linked in the description below. It's also on the MacBook Pro. So yeah, you can get some pretty cool wallpapers, linked in the description below. This video is sponsored by Wondershare Filmora. Wondershare is an easy to use video editing software that I actually use to edit this video as well. And what I love the most is how easy editing is made with the super fast drag and drop frame builder. But I can also dive into each frame and really fine-tune settings like color grades, subtitles, captions, and so much more. And with a few clicks, I can also add some really cool effects like this rock one. Literally one click. Wondershare also continues to add a bunch of new features, including AI tracking, AI subtitles, AI thumbnails, and so much more AI-powered technology. Wondershare is available on both PC and Mac, and they also have a plan where you can use one single membership to use on both different platforms, but they go one step further because you can also get Wondershare on Android as well. And you know what that means? Pull out your S9, pull out your S8 tablet, and you can get to work with the professional video editing software on a tablet. Be sure to check out Wondershare Filmora, and I've got them linked down in the description below. Once again, a big shout out to Wondershare Filmora for sponsoring me and helping me create awesome videos for all these years. Let's keep it moving. All right, the next issue number 2, ladies and gentlemen, it's the build quality, okay? Now, I'm not gonna compare it to the S23 Ultra because you really can't. It is better build quality than the S23 Ultra, objectively speaking. We already went over this in a previous video. I'm not gonna go over that again. So, what is the issue with the build quality on the S24 Ultra? Well, it's not anything to do with this glass back. This had a glass back. They're very similar glass backs. This was fantastic. This is fantastic as well. And I don't even put a case on my phone, by the way. Now, the bezels are pretty much the same. Obviously, the new one has titanium, so it's not really the same. But I'm talking about the quality. The quality of them is pretty much identical. There hasn't been any new damage anywhere on the bezels. Obviously, my old phone, it's that like cheap aluminum stuff, so it started to come off. But this titanium bezel, this powder coating, although it's a little bit more slippery, it is a lot more premium looking. And I said that when this came out, like this glossy crap, it doesn't look that nice. So where's the issue? The issue is the screen, ladies and gentlemen. Now, apparently, according to Samsung marketing, the screen is stronger. Stronger than what? Huh? Mabuto? I mean, seriously, come on now. You got to give some sort of reference, so the most logical reference that I could come up with is the old S23 Ultra. And although the screen on the S23 Ultra, it's curved, this one is not curved anymore, so it is objectively stronger, okay, because it's not a curved display. Curved displays are more fragile. The issue that I have with the S23 Ultra wasn't the curved display, it was the micro scratching, and this is plagued with the same issues. Tiny scratches that are not that easy to see. There are tiny scratches in the display that are very, very hard to see. Now, on the S23 Ultra, the scratches are really all along the side, so where the bezel is curved, and that's kind of what you would expect. This is picking up micro scratches just as easily, and it's just as annoying. And so one of the advantages though to a flat display is that you can now put on a screen protector. So the curved displays had the most garbage screen protectors in the world. The flat one screen protectors are a lot more, you know, real. Like they actually sit and stick instead of like floating above the screen with the curved displays. Those were garbage. Obviously, I don't like putting cases on my phone, especially when they're this gigantic. I'll put them on like a flip or something like that. This is already portable enough, but I'm not gonna put it on something as big as the S23 Ultras. On the other hand, I'm also not a big fan of screen protectors, but I will say it is very much worth it. So the fix for micro scratches, get yourself a screen protector, especially now that the display is flat. It'll fit there, it'll feel better. Hopefully get yourself a thin one or a chamfered one if you can, so that it doesn't hurt on the side, so that when you're holding the phone, it doesn't like dig into your fingers. But the point is that micro scratches, especially after a year, can get pretty ugly, and that can cause your phone value to go down. It doesn't really impact the display, but you see them and they're very obvious when they're there. All right, if you're still here, I want to give you the next issue, okay? Charging. Now charging is a personal issue, okay? It's one of those ones that are a little bit more personal to me because I haven't seen major headlines and stories about this issue. And honestly, at this point, this issue is pretty much fixed, but I don't know how it fixed itself. It wasn't software updates or anything like that. It was actually me going to Best Buy and buying a wire. So the first week I had my S24 Ultra, 256 gigs. I put it down, put it on charge as you would overnight, woke up, and while this phone goes to 100% in the morning, like it's overnight charging, your phone's supposed to be at 100%. My new, fresh out the box S24 Ultra had like 72%. It was maxed out at 72%, and that was weird, but I was like, 72% on the Ultras will still last me throughout the entire day. So this is not about battery degradation. This is not about longevity. This is just a maxing out at 72% full charge, which was weird. I just didn't think much of it. Went through my day, came back home, put it on charge again the next night, wake up, it's maxed out at 72%. Now I'm using a OnePlus super fast charger, 65 watt. I know that's not supported on the Ultras, but it's never been an issue for me because I've used the same charger for the S23 Ultra and the same charger for all of my other devices. The OnePlus chargers are proper good chargers. So why wasn't my S24 Ultra charging? I still, to this day, don't know. So I have this issue with my S24 Ultra week 1. It's not charging past 72%. What do you do when you have an issue? You gotta reach out to the community. You go to Craigslist. One person came out with a solution. He was like, I went outside to Amazon. I guess you don't have to go outside, but he's like, I bought a new wire. I bought a Samsung wire and a Samsung charging adapter. I was like, it couldn't hurt. It's like 15 bucks, so I'll go ahead and try it. Went to Best Buy, got myself a Samsung adapter, Samsung charging wire, plugged it in. I didn't even wait till nighttime. I was watching it and it went past 72%, went through 77, 78, 79, 90, 91, 96, 90. Wow, I can't. Guys, it is 2:54 a.m. As usual, we do this very late, so the fix seems to be get yourself a Samsung charger, but I want to move on from this one because the next one is kind of a bigger deal. Data connectivity. I'm talking about if you have a US data plan. Let's talk about it, okay? I have T-Mobile right now. T-Mobile on this, T-Mobile on this. When I go to Canada from the USA, it switches to Rogers. That's normal. I also have it on my iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's a couple years old now, but same exact SIM, same exact company, like everything's the same. As soon as I cross the border into Canada, right, it's my iPhone immediately, I'm not an Apple fanboy, but I'm just saying the truth is, my iPhone immediately switches to Rogers, which is the Canadian network. It goes straight to Rogers, Telecom, whatever, and my GPS is updated, nothing gets disconnected. I know how to get home, and I can get home. I need to text somebody that, hey, I crossed the border, I can do that. Samsung is not so friendly after all, okay? Because for some reason, once I cross the border, while my iPhone, same company and everything, has already switched over to the next provider, my Samsung hasn't. This, for some reason, just sticks with T-Mobile, and since it's lost all connection, it just goes offline. And so here I am in a new country trying to run my GPS, and the GPS is not working. I can't communicate with anybody until I get like 50 miles in, like past Toronto now. Finally, it connects, and the speed is atrocious. On the iPhone, it is markedly better. I don't know why international data is so horrible on the S24 Ultra. It doesn't seem to be an issue with my phone company because my iPhone, like I said, is using the same exact one. But this is an issue that was on both the S23 Ultras when I took this over last year, and the S24 Ultra having taken this over this year. And finally, the final issue, this one's gonna lead into the next video as well, because this is saving money. This is all about my pockets, okay? The pockets are not deep. I'm on a student budget, obviously, okay? So when it comes to these two phones, they're very similar. They are so similar, okay? Especially now, because over the past like 2-3 weeks, I've been waking up every day to the S23 Ultra with like, new updates are here, how to use your new updated Samsung device. Like, there's new updates every single night, and what am I getting in these updates? It's all of the Galaxy AI features, all of those exclusive, special, new, revolutionary features that we only saw on the S24 Ultra are now available on the S23 Ultra as well. So in my head, I'm like thinking, okay, Live Translate was pretty cool. I have a lot of business in China. I can do that here. Although I don't use it as much as I'd like to, I can use that here now. I can use all of those other AI features with my pictures, with the camera, all of that cool stuff in the editing, I can do on the S23 Ultra now as well. This is like $600. This is double that, $1,200. Where is the difference? The cameras are pretty much the same. Okay, this just has gone through more updates, so this is a lot more refined of a camera than the S24 Ultra camera. And honestly, in my day-to-day usage, I haven't found a major difference between the two cameras. They're very similar. Obviously, one of them is titanium. It's a little bit more slippery. It has this powder-coated matte. Some people are having issues where if this scratches, there's like this white grain underneath. I haven't had that happen yet, but the aluminum is very, very similar. It scratches and it shows up. If you're putting a case on your phone, this doesn't even matter. The S Pens are almost exactly identical. All the other things, the size, the weight is pretty much the same. I mean, I know there's a few grams difference. No one gives a shit. So the final issue that I've got to talk about is that it's so boring. having used the S23 Ultra for almost a year now. The S23 Ultra is such a good phone. Still, it's so fast, the battery has barely degraded. There's going to be some with all phones and with every, but you can barely tell because even though it's what, 3 a.m., it's at 65%, and that's kind of a, don't forget about that because I kind of was just charging it, but it charges up so fast. It was at 20% when I charged it up for like an hour before this video. So they are so similar that it's like, what's the point of paying $600 more for the S24 Ultra? Obviously, you're getting things like, you know, another year, maybe one more year of software updates and support. But that, I mean, not having software updates and support doesn't mean your phone's dead. It doesn't mean that at all. I still have my S7 Edge from like 7th grade, so and it still works, you know. So yeah, that's the last issue. This isn't really game-changing anymore, especially after all the updates that the S23 Ultra received in the past few weeks. So please make sure to smash that subscribe button because in the next videos we're going to continue talking about updates that are possibly coming for the S24 Ultra with AI that the S23 Ultra isn't going to get. So Samsung, I think, has started, you know, rewiring their brains and realized that, you know what, we can't make this phone the same as the previous ones